and I can demand that because of my results. They know that they're getting the best. So if they want to go to someone cheaper, there's always an upper level. You can go and you can buy a Hyundai, or you can go and you can buy a cheap Honda, but there's always Rolls Royce. So instead of choosing to be the Toyota or the Nissan, that's the mid-level stuff, I chose to be the Rolls Royce.
Welcome to Customer Bloom's Growing Business Faster podcast, where we talk about all things related to growing and scaling your business in today's hyper-connected world. Gain insightful tips from experts about the tactics and tools that will make your business stronger. Now get prepared to accelerate your success with your host, Matt Coffy.
Okay, so this is part 2 of the Kotton Grammer episode, and if you haven't listened to episode 1, please go back and listen to episode 1, because this is just an amazing guy. We get again into more mindset discussion in this part, or part 2. It's really worth the effort to think through how quickly he's grown and the mindset training he's done. He talks a lot about how his strategy is. There's some great gold nuggets in both of these episodes, but this is part 2. So again, if you haven't listened to part 1, go back and listen to part 1, then listen to part 2, and enjoy. Right, and everything you've said is just super solid, by the way. Really appreciate this discussion, because your attitude is point on with how I think as well, and it's really cool. So, getting a little granular, these companies that you're approaching now, from a company perspective, we're dealing with not necessarily small guys, but a lot of $1,000, $2,000 a month club type of clients who are small businesses and stuff. To get to 700,000 with only a handful of employees, you've got to be taking on larger sized clients, and that to me has got to be the key here. Is that what's happening, or am I missing something?
Well, one of the things that like we really teach, because I'm one of the main coaches inside of OMG, is that I have a minimum right now. Even when I first started, my minimum was $4,000 to like start. I didn't care what it was; it was a minimum, and I can demand that because of my results. What I show people, what I've ranked, how I've ranked it, where I'm at, how I'm visibly not hiding anywhere with my rankings. They know that they're getting the best. So if they want to go to someone cheaper, there's always an upper level. You can go and you can buy a Hyundai, or you can go and you can buy a cheap Honda, but there's always Rolls Royce. So instead of choosing to be the Toyota or the Nissan, that's the mid-level stuff, I chose to be the Rolls Royce. So I lost a lot of clients along the way, but instead what I did was I made my very expensive clients happy. Where since I've raised my minimum to work with me is now $5,000 a month. I don't have any problems getting that. And what I have done is I have brought on every client to make them so happy that I've turned them into my employees. And what I mean by that is I've never had to have a sales staff, because I work my client base. I continue to let them know, hey, look, if you're running into a financial crunch, or if you want some months free on your SEO, I've always put this offer out there: get me 3 clients that I can sign up, and I'll do all of your SEO for free. So what's happened is even businesses that can't afford me, that want to work with me, I give them that same offer. I said, look, I understand that your advertising budget might be in a pinch right now, and I understand that you want to work with me. Here's my minimums. I can tell you, would you like to hear how I can do everything for you for free? They're like, absolutely. Bring me 3 referrals that I can sign up at the same price that I listed to you, and I'll do you for free. Believe it or not, 60% of the people come back with all 3. Some do with 1. I would say about 80% come back with 1. So now what I have is I've never had to hire a sales force, because of the people and the desire that want to work with me are out pulling these people in for me. So even when, and it's kind of hard for people to understand this, I lose at least $50,000 worth of business a month. I've got to add $50,000 to maybe $100,000 worth of business a month. I can pretty much send out one autoresponder email to my clients and say, hey, look, just like AMP pages just came out where Google said it. I'll write up a nice article for all of my past and prospective clients and says, hey, look, AMP pages are coming out right now, and Google says it's really important. And here's the information about it. If you'd like for me to take care of your stuff for free, send me to clients. And generally, I am loaded up with so many people that I need to call back in referrals. What I do is after they're my clients and during they're my clients, I refuse to accept money. So even when I tell someone that the search engine optimization is going to take 6 to 8 months, at the end of 8 months, I'm done with them, and I say, hey, look, here's your number one ranking. We're good. Are you happy? Man, I'm ecstatic. You getting traffic? Well, we're getting traffic. Then they go, well, now what happens? I said, well, like with everything, if you work out, you're going to need to, you just can't sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and Doritos all the time. We're going to have to do some maintenance to the site. Well, how much is that going to cost? I don't take money. I go, what do you mean? I only take referrals. If you want me to refresh your site, continue to keep sending me referrals, and I'll always refresh your site for you for free. So that's how I've been able to build my business, is through word of mouth, through other people who have greater influence than I do. And I've just bounced off to where you really don't have to look for clients anymore. They're all coming to me. So the advertising other people has to do with the Facebook ads, with the other stuff, I've never had to do that. I've worked inside my own kind of ecosystem and be able to build it out like that. And it's still, I can't get to all the referrals that all of my clients send me to this day.
Yeah, it's fascinating. That is a different approach to this marketing business. We live in a world that's faced with so many different decisions to make, and I absolutely see that pathway as being something amazing for people to incorporate into their process of, if they're going to build out an agency, if they're going to build out some sort of infrastructure that relies on itself to support itself. Mm-hmm. What do you think? We look at results that we produce for clients, and we're fine. And of course, people find us because we're in New Jersey. And if you type in SEO in New Jersey, we come up along with our buddies over there at Youth Noise. And mm-hmm. I guess the question is going to be, what's next? What do you see that's coming? I mean, obviously, we're in this sort of purple patch of SEO. I think what I kind of call it, because not very many people can do it now. I mean, a couple of years ago, there was a lot of people, but we're seeing a lot of this change of the guard where people are having difficulty. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, there's a lot of clamp down structure that's out there that's been built, pandas, penguins, whatever next animal will be out there. What do you think's coming next, and what do you anticipate the change of the guard as we move through this phase, I think, which is coming, where we're going to have to all think about what is our business at the end of the day, because SEO is probably 10 years from now, we'll look back and go, well, back then, yeah, but what it's now,
Mm-hmm. It's an evolving business, that's for sure. I know that when I started 2.5 years ago, how I was doing SEO was entirely different than how I'm doing it now. So with that, that's what research and development calls in there. Greg Morris and I'm surrounded by literally some pretty great SEOs that I consider my best friends. You got Greg Morrison, Fletch, Joe Morfolio, Stephen Floyd, Derek Owasiak, all these other guys that are just absolutely amazing. And we literally are researching and development all the time. Greg has over 1,000 sites out right now to where he's ranking things in different ways. And evolving is what we have to do. There's a lot of ways SEO is identical to where it was 2.5 years ago. It's just people want to do it differently. There's like 15 different new ways to rank that we didn't have 2.5 years ago. There was just literally 3 paths. And now there's like 15 paths. So what happens is, because people are literally stricken with not understanding which direction to go, and you've got this SEO guru over here that's saying go this way, this person saying go that way, that person go this way, people are paralyzed with indecision. SEO is pretty simple. We just brought in 1,000 people into OMG in January. And all of them are having incredible ranking results, and all of them are having incredible successful clients because we took all the decision out of it for them. Here, look, put your blinders on, go this way, do this. This is what's working, do this, they do. So with SEO, it's to me, the core way to rank hasn't changed. It's just people have too many decisions. And that's a good thing for us, but because I love playing around and ranking one thing this way, ranking one thing that way. But and to me, I don't. I like worry about SEO getting oversaturated because the information out there about SEO that actually works is so easy to get access to, even more so than it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago from when I talked to people. So I just think that if you look and if you find the right people, you're going to get the right answers. It's just there's so many people out there that try to make a quick buck because they've had a couple good months of success and they want to be coaches or teachers and really shouldn't be. And the information gets skewed and everyone goes, man, the sky's falling. But I like to think that OMG's had a pretty good grasp on which direction to move SEO, for the last 2.5 years, and I haven't had any problems with it. I don't see SEO going away. I just see, different shifts. Links are never going to go away. There's like no way that they can take links away. Search and click is going to become the new SEO. People's going to start to realize that Google's relying a whole lot more on, where people are searching and clicking. That's very been integrated over the last year into all of search engine optimization. But overall, that's really the only new thing that's been added that I can really put my finger on, is just search and click over the last 2.5 years, and just taken away spammy methods of ranking that everyone did with like GSA. So we're finding cleaner ways to rank stuff, but links are not going to go away anytime soon. I think links are around for sure for the next 5 years at least.
Yeah, and thanks to OMG, I mean, obviously we're a big follower. We've got people on our team that are very deep into, the daily activity coming out of OMG, and then actually have been to events, and I'm looking forward to going to the next one as well. But one of the things that's questioned in my mind is, where does this scale the best? People like Becker and Alex Cass, I mean, these guys are now inventing products and software that scales from I guess you could say, a different area, right? So it's not so customer driven, it's more download,
subscription driven.
Yeah, driven. And the subscription model to me is really interesting because I feel that at the end of the day is a solve for maybe the logistical issues of building agencies and so forth. What do you think? Is this something you're eventually going to think you're going to be involved in?
No, not at all. I just think that Becker is he's like one of my best friends, and Becker's he's brilliant. I mean, the guy's 27 years old. Absolutely. I wish I was that smart at 27. What like Becker's doing is he's just satisfying the market. There's so many more people that are getting into SEO right now, and I don't want to say that OMGs did this or that, or we're great or anything. We're just a bunch of guys that are just out doing SEO, but we did a pretty good job marketing ourselves out to mainstream. Yep. When you got people like Bob Proctor, who is promoted us, who's given us his lifetime recommendation, that brings in a lot of new people that had no clue what search engine optimization was or with anything else. So what our focus has been on is to get out of the IM space and to start focusing on more of the motivational space and the business space, to where people are like, oh, wow, we didn't know this information was available. So there's been a flood of people studying SEO and doing SEO on their own. And Alex has just seen an opening to where he's developed all this software and stuff to kind of curb the supply and demand for all of this. I myself have no desire to get in that space. I will be in consulting. I will be running my agency to bring all my information back and put it inside of OMG. I really want to get into the motivation space. I'm going to be doing a speaking event for Alexander Becker's book launch here April 1st, speaking with Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez. And I'm not going to be talking about anything with SEO. It's going to be a motivational speech. So that's kind of my true passion. My big fans are, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, guys like that's who I grew up with, that I really pull. And really without that mindset, I could not be where I am today. So that's where my passion's at, is to reach people and motivate more people through mindset, along with continuing to break boundaries with literally in the trenches of what SEO is. I absolutely enjoy it. I love the research and development and able to bring that research back to the community. That's what drives me. At like this point, money really doesn't matter at this point. It's the enjoyment I get of seeing that I'm helping people inside the OMG community get more success.
I think we're cut from the exact same cloth. I couldn't agree with you more on everything that you've said. That's really cool that you're going to be with Ty and with Becker. And is this coming up actually not too far away? Right? Is this in Vegas?
Yeah, it's April 1st at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Yeah.
And that is going to be an amazing, amazing event. So a couple more questions, and I want to kind of wrap us up here because we've been at it for about 20 minutes, and although I could probably do 20 hours or 20 days on this stuff, I mean, we're very, very close in this thinking.
Sure.
So, again, going back to looking at the influences and the relevance to where you sort of are leaning yourself into, I really dig the fact that this element of you spreading yourself into the next business model. I'm trying to support the thought process around the mental capabilities to do this. I really do believe at the end of the day, attitude is the only thing that makes the difference between how we really get to a point if we're successful or not. How do you get your attitude around this influence of, obviously you mentioned some big names there, but the attitude of how you go to this next level? I'd really like to understand, because obviously there are a lot of people who would love to be at the $700,000 a month club. That's an amazing number. And you've talked about your resources and where you came from. What's the attitude that you put into your day? Where does that come from? Where besides the fact that you've been motivated by this story that you told, it really sounds like to me that you have a quest more than anything else. I'd like you to talk about that.
I think my quest comes from, I've always had something in my heart that I knew that we're here to learn. We're here to be better. And I think what happens with a lot of people is they get stuck in their routines and they feel that life is just about, hey, let's get married, let's have kids, and let's go to work and let's end. And I've never wanted to look at life like that. I've wanted to enrich myself. And I've spent 10 years, 20 years developing, inside. John Maxwell's probably my greatest mentor. Read all of his books, Winning with People, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Those are kind of like my Bibles I go to for motivation. But now what's really got me on my quest is that was intra, is outra, is how I treat other people, how I make other people feel. What am I putting out? What vibes am I putting out to make people feel better? So now I'm on a different learning path to make people feel better. If I spent 15 minutes from you, did you walk away better than if you would have just did nothing? And that's what my journey's on right now. Ultimately, what got my fire in my heart is back to my grandmother. She had so much faith in me, and she believed in me probably more than anybody. And to know that on her deathbed that she didn't get a chance to see the best me really affects me to this day. And and a lot of us can look back, and I don't want to look back in life and say, did I give the best me to everything? Did I cheat the people inside of OMG that's paid this money to get this course? Did I cheat them? And I continue to worry about that. Did I cheat my clients? Did I give them my best? Have I given my best to just this interview? Everything I try to give my all to, and look back and have no regrets. And that's what drives me, is I just want to be on my deathbed, whenever that is, and look back and know that I'm satisfied looking back at everything that I've done, and I have no regrets.
Yeah, and I think that's a legacy thing, right? At the end of the day, that's one of the things I write about a lot, is that, legacy is currency, at the end of the
Right.
day. And I think that we really do have an impact that we want to provide. I know that the level of, obviously you have to consider the ego piece in that, and there's a fine line between, the higher-ended
Right.
folks who, put a little bit too much emphasis on the ego side, but that's okay.
Right.
At the end of the day, though, I think what you're saying here, and this is really cool, and we'll wrap with this, is that, you're going to continue to drive your education, your experience, and try and get the best way to impact others from that as part of sort of your flight, let's just say, to
Right.
this next level, which is you're going from the the SEO sort of world and trying to move to the next thing, and that takes a lot of I just say the same thing. There's a lot of black belt in there. There's a lot of years and years and years and years of getting stripes to the point that you can actually evangelize this mental state, which doesn't come from basically a fake business. It comes from really what we're doing, which is just an amazing amount of numbers. And this has been a terrific interview. Anything from other than the event from April that you want to let anyone who's got their earphones on right now listening to this that would like to interact with you or any of the events? Obviously, we've got OMG stuff coming up, but some stuff that you might want to mention besides the April 1st event.
I'm not really into self-promotion. I'm kind of an underground guy. I've never. You're not going to see me on any Facebook ads. You're not going to see me posting income reports on my Facebook wall or anything like that. If you've liked what I've said, and if you want to get SEO training, obviously people can look up OMG machines.com. That's like where you can find me at, where I'm at daily. I'm just going to try to live the life the best that I can and hopefully share it with people along the way with my business path. And hopefully it helps people. And that's all I can do. So, if people want to reach out to me, my website's kottongrammer.com, and they can drop me a line. And I'm always open to help people. But that's the only event that I have. We do free events all year long. If you go and search in Facebook for the OMG Way, that's our free OMG group. We post all of our free events, and our first event is April 1st in Las Vegas, to where we just get together and just meet people. You don't even have to be an OMG member. We just do meet and greets. And then our next event after that is going to be in Denver, which is May 14th. And all that information is inside the Facebook group, the OMG Way.
Awesome. Kotton, it's been a pleasure. I hope we can come back and do this more than once. I have so much more to ask you, but I think our listeners could take a breather, and we'll catch you on the other side. And I really do think that we are very close in our thinking. It's almost like talking to a mirror.
Great. It's been a pleasure. I'd be happy to be on anytime.
If you're prepared to grow your business even further, then join CustomerBloom's Adventure Mastermind in Paradise, or CAMP, for digital agencies and online marketers from May 2nd to May 4th, 2016 at the gorgeous Villa Amor in Sayulita, Mexico. The benefits are limitless as you gain unparalleled insight through mastermind workshops, new perspective through community connections, and insider knowledge from the real-world experience of speakers and other attendees. Log on to CustomerBloom.com now and click the camp link to get started on a life-changing journey guaranteed to accelerate your business and your mind. We've reached the end of this episode of CustomerBloom's Growing Business Faster podcast. So be sure to subscribe to the show and stay connected to us on CustomerBloom.com. We appreciate you joining us and look forward to providing you with realistic ways to help support and accelerate your business here on the Growing Business Faster podcast, brought to you by CustomerBloom.